Hey guys, welcome to episode 6. We've got a special guest in town. He's a reigning beer pong champion. He's a table tennis master. His name's Matty Riley. He loves the pies. We've got rid of Jez because he starts to blabber on through the half 15 minutes. So, Matty Riles, how are you going? And it's great to have you on the show.
It's good to be here, boys and girl. It's tough to be part of such a great show, you know.
Yeah, thanks, mate. We try to do our best over here to our 30 viewers, but our 30 viewers are getting enough of Jez blubbering on for 5 minutes. So
yeah, there's only so much I can take.
But yeah, it's great to have you here. We love to have you here. You're one of our best friends, so you're welcome on the show anytime. Even if Brooke wants to pop on every now and then, she's more than welcome to. So, but enough from me. Straight into Russo's Rager over here. Russ, what you got on this morning?
Here you go, mate. All right, chuck on the video, mate. It's a good old Caro old footy classified. Monday it was Monday night. It happened.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night.
The old Caro's arrow.
Oh no.
Here we go. Hey, shoot that boys at arrow.
Channel 7 and their footy coverage has been our friend all season. They haven't been perfect, but then who has? Certainly not me, and they've made the best of a bad situation. But let's face it, some things just aren't picked up on or analysed or covered the way they should be when most of the footy commentators are on the other side of the country. We saw it time and time again over a brilliant week of football, but to be fair, most of the best and biggest moments were given their due. But how is it at a network where Daisy Pearce has become one of the best special commentators in the country and the face of footy news is Jackie Felgate that we have to put up with rubbish like this?
And X, isn't your much better half expecting?
Yes, at the end of the month, so I've scheduled that in for Derby Day, so I'll be watching the races while she gets to work.
Enough of the boys' club, lads. That's it. Short and sharp arrow tonight.
Caro not fucking happy. What is going on in the brain department of Caro right there? Literally a joke. Everyone was laughing. Everyone found it funny. And then she's forced this poor bastard to apologise for doing absolutely nothing wrong. Caro, just relax. People are allowed to have a joke. Like, just because it's a male, there's nothing wrong with that. If a female does something like that, no offence, Chloe, if a female says something like that, males are not going to say it because they'll find it funny. You're allowed to be funny in this world. Everyone gets too fucking technical and everyone carries on about all this fucking bullshit. People are just got to chill, just got to relax, especially you, Caro. On a Monday night on Footy Classified, you are no good. You are just absolutely terrible. Hutchie's obviously getting in your head and you just got no idea what you're doing. Jez, mate, what do you reckon, mate? Because I know you were...
My God.
You were pretty strong on this as well, mate. What are your thoughts?
You've summed it up really well, but Hachi's just literally infecting her with some sort of serum that, makes her fucking stupid. Like, I just cannot believe this. Like, Xavier Ellis had to apologise. He had to apologise for this.
Yeah, he was pretty much forced into an apology. Like, it's just...
The fact that Caro, like, she thinks, like, this is, like, she's got literally nothing to talk about and this is news. And the fact that, like, it's fucking clear it was a joke, and she's fucking cannot get that through her thick fucking head. Now, we're not saying we don't like women. Of course, we love women. This is not an attack on women, okay? We're not going to get this twisted here.
Just be careful, Jess, because if Caro is the show, mate, she might carry on.
If Caro gets a word of this, I'm not attacking her or female kind. But by geez Louise, she's got no fucking idea what's going on. And the fact that she can just go and just, she thinks that this is like news and she thinks this is bad. It was clearly a joke. I don't think you have to be fucking Einstein to see that this was clearly a joke. Like,
yeah,
you summed it up really well, Russ. But honestly, like, I'm just like the fact that this shit can happen. And on Wednesday, like, she's fine. Like, Nobody Classified, that's actually a much better show. So I think it speaks to the fact that when you've got Cornsey, you got Hutchie, and you got Caro on one show, you're going to have a lot of people saying a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah, because I think like they sort of go against each other. They sort of one wants to be better than the other. So they've got to come up with all this stupid shit sometimes.
But it just doesn't make the show watchable. Like, it doesn't make the show good.
I agree.
Like Wednesday, hats off to Sam McClure. This is again a bit off topic, but hats off to Sam McClure as well. Does well, Carlton supporter, which we love. And then, like those other guys, Lloydie's fine. But yeah, it's just... Yeah, I'm just fucking shocked. I'm flabbergasted. bamboozled by the fact that she comes up with this bullshit every fucking week on a Monday. And
Yeah,
I can't wait.
she's always got something like just stupid to say. It's just.
Oh, but anyways.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, Connie, from a female perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So I literally had to watch that video like 5 times from the first viewing to actually figure out what people were getting so offended over.
I can't believe it. Yeah, I can't believe it.
I was like, it actually took me a second to go like, oh, what? Because he said he was gonna like watch the races while his wife's giving birth. I'm like, well, first of all, that's probably a load of shit. Like that was quite obviously a joke. Second of all, like you know, there was like all I took out of that was like the emphasis on the fact that his wife was his much better half. Like that was all my ears picked up on. I was like, oh yeah, sweet, like that's so lovely.
And his wife found it funny. She found it funny.
Yeah.
Caro didn't find it funny.
Found it funny.
Caro was the only one out of everyone who didn't find it funny. She's like, oh, on behalf of everyone, we don't find it funny. Caro, speaking
I was like, fuck you, it was hilarious. it was hilarious. Like I had a good chuckle at that because, like, I think childbirth is one of those things that just like, scares men generally. I was just like, there was just nothing wrong with it. It was just like, a bit of good banter over, a very like emotional but like exciting situation. I thought there was absolutely nothing in it. And like we all know how much Chloe loves Caro on a good day anyway. So I'm just sick of it. I'm like, seriously, like you boys said, like, is this seriously what we're considering newsworthy? Like, and it pisses me off because then when someone actually says something stupid and offensive, it all just gets lobbed in together. Like, we need to be like more selective on what we're talking about when we, want to, I guess, like shut down things that are actually offensive. And if you just, keep picking on stupid shit, it's just going to get all lost in the mix. So she's doing more harm than good, seriously.
Yeah, exactly right. I agree with all those points.
So to sum it up, she's a fucking bitch and she's a fucking witch from the West. So, look, Caro, get your shit together. Don't bother speaking about that shit. You're clueless. Get off the show. Stop talking footy. But
still in our content,
that you have no clue.
Yeah, but is this where we start lobbying for me to get on Footy Classified?
Oh,
I'm all for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get you on.
Absolutely. What was that? What'd you say?
What was that, Maddie?
You can crack a smile. You're doing better than she is.
Yeah, exactly. Love that.
Yeah.
She's always grumpy.
Good.
Always grumpy.
She is. I'm like, you're getting paid to talk about sport. Can you fucking be happy about it, please?
Put a smile on your face.
No.
Be more like Bruce.
A bit off topic. Speaking of getting paid to fucking do sport, Ross Lyon admitted last night he's getting paid more to be on Footy Classified than to coach Fremantle.
Yeah, I heard that. That's fucking perfect. Get your money while you can. Ross. Get your money while you
more
can.
into media. So yeah,
how tragic is that?
Yeah, I know.
I think that speaks more to just how much they get paid in the media. Like it's
yeah.
Like how much you get paid? Like fuck. Because he would have been on what? Say he's on about maybe 700 at Freo. Say I'm guessing.
He was on good money. He was on good money at Freo. He wasn't on shit money.
Yeah.
He was like they lured him over there with Zach Dawson. Like, can I bring Zach along? Yeah, sure. So
Dawson.
Yeah, where are we?
Still friends.
Yeah. Anyway, but thanks, Caro. Thanks, Caro. We love you. Not really, but moving on swiftly. Bit of news during the week that Big Joey, the bloke that's been more injured than Alex Johnson, said he wants to move to Brisbane and play with him for the year. So, what are our thoughts on that?
Matty, what do you reckon?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Matty, what do you reckon, mate?
Nah, that'd be great.
I love that.
I think, to be honest, it's a great answer. We love that. It will be great for Brisbane, but that's if he can keep his body under control.
Yeah, short and sweet. And I reckon in Brisbane, he's not like, I think if he went to Sydney, I think it'd be a lot more pressure on him. And I think in Brisbane, he's going to be a little bit more, he's going to have those guys like Hipwood and Cameron around him. So it's not going to be, he doesn't have to kick fucking 5 and have like a ton of touches.
I seriously can't imagine Hipwood and Danaher lining up in the forward line. The kicking will be that fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, they need to get Levi down to the club or something for some practice or something. Like, or Trav Cloak or something. I don't know. But
with a one torp from 60 meters.
Yeah, 50 out, he's fine. 50 out, he's fine.
50 out, they're fine. But can you imagine 2 left footers shanking every ball?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, in all seriousness, that's fucking scary. If they have people to add data her, that's like it's a scary prospect if they can both suck.
If they're both on, yeah.
Yeah, they're both on.
Like Brisbane's already like the best, if not the second best team in the league. So adding a quality player like him could make them really scary next year.
Yeah, the fact that they're both agile as well, like the fact that Hipwood's able to move up the ground like he did last weekend.
Yeah, exactly right.
You can have another tall target like Danaher sitting in the square. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty elite to have.
Yeah, what do you think this means for the big O from the Lions? Is he going to still get a game?
I think he's because he's Stephen Martin's still there. Stephen Martin's getting
still there. So
it depends how old Stephen Martin is because he's getting on. But Oscar O, I feel like he's been pretty outstanding for the Lions all year.
Yeah, I've rated his season. I
don't see why they can't keep him as well. I know 3 talls is a huge thing, but when I think of 3 talls, I think of Franklin, Ruffhead, Gunston. I think of there's been so many times where I've seen 3 big forwards playing in the forward line, and maybe having those 3 tall targets it makes a difference. But I don't see.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I agree.
Cox and Cox.
USA. Going back to Danaher just real quickly, there was also talk I was reading up on Brisbane's only going to offer him about 600 because they're going to give him incentives, like if he's not injured, he'll earn more. But then that could cause an issue with the compensation pick. So they're saying if Brisbane only offer him 600, it means Essendon could only get pick 18 or 19. So it might could either force Brisbane's offer him some more money, or even Essendon might actually match it so they get a better deal. So yeah, that could become real interesting and could become a bit of a game of chess.
What do you think Danaher's worth?
Bit of a bidding war.
Oh, I don't think he's worth more than 600. So
no, as in picks wise.
Oh, picks wise. Oh, well, the problem is with how it works depends on like the compensations. Like if they offer him, Brisbane will have to offer him over 700K for Essendon to get like a pick 8, which is after their pick. But if they only offer him 600, they're only going to get like a back end pick 18, 19. So I think Brisbane probably have to play it smart. Probably might have to offer him maybe a bit of extra money just so they can get the deal done. So I think they'll probably end up offering him about 700.
Yeah.
I don't think he's probably worth 700, but yeah, I think that's going to happen if they want to get him over the line.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think he's worth 700 on a good day.
Yeah, like I'd probably say max 700. Obviously, like, you know, with all of us knowing fuck all about how exactly they calculate figures. Yeah, like I think 600 is fair. The only way I can see them kind of getting around that is if they pull off like some sort of 3-way trade. But then considering that it's Brisbane on the other side, like they're not really particularly like lucky. Considering it's Brisbane and Essendon, so for Essendon to get compensated for like another pick, they'd have to draw some other club into the mix. But I don't see any players being super keen on Essendon. They're all leaving them, so I don't really see that working either.
No.
Yeah, good call.
I think Essendon just have to suck it up and just let him go. Whatever they get, really.
Yeah.
And on that news, Essendon are losing players, and another one of their stars wants to join the Mighty Blues. So
Adam Sard.
Come home.
Boy, oh boy.
Big boy. Yeah, so apparently Essendon had pretty much the same contract offer as Carlton, and he chose Carlton. So yeah, that speaks something of Essendon, really.
If you guys pick up what's his name? What's the Williams and Sard. Best. I know Williams probably going to midfield, but from this year and the last few years, you're picking up 2 of the best halfbacks in the game.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it sets us up nicely. Like I'm expecting nothing less than finals next year, honestly.
Yeah, we've stated that on the other.
Seriously, man, if we can't make finals next year, I'm just give it up. I'm tearing up. I'm just give it up. No, seriously, we're spending all our salary cap money to pick up these players pretty much. So yeah, it's pretty much like this is the team that's going to take us to the flag in the next few years. So
the thing is, your backline's not the problem. I know you're picking up these guys, but your backline's never been the problem. You need I think Carlton need to start looking at players to help out Cripper in the middle, and you need some guys to, and obviously Charlie Curnow fit helps a lot, but I feel like you need to go after a midfielder that can help.
Yeah, I think they're hoping that Williams is going to be a midfielder. I think so. Hopefully, he can slot in nicely, and he can do really well for us.
Yeah.
And I think just the speed that comes out of both players, adding to like, you know, the different parts of the team. So
Yeah, we're quite slow, so we definitely
So Star coming off the back and then Williams in the middle, I think that's going to really, really help Carlton because, if you look at a lot of their past games, you'll get out of the back fine, but then, coming to the classic midfield dilemma, you get stuck and then you're too slow to move the ball forward. So I think having those two players will encourage a bit of a faster game. So that should be good.
Your ball's inside 50, you should be able to hit targets because both Sard and Williams coming in. Both
exactly right.
So,
and I think also adding in two quality players, it can help stop when teams get on like a momentum shift as well. Like just having those couple of senior heads.
I see Williams and Sard being like what Vlosten and Jaden Short have been to Richmond. Two great guys off half back that can move up forward, hit targets, kick goals. It helps out heaps. 100%.
Yeah, see, that's the good thing about Williams and Sard. Like they're just not pure backmen. Like they can push up the ground a lot as well, which will help us. Yeah, give us a lot of running carry. So pretty excited for next year. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we can make the fucking 8 for once.
Yeah, and
puzzle pieces.
And GWS midfielder Jackson Haitley has been a really good warrior for them. But fair enough, the kid wants to move over to Adelaide. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I mean, he'll get more opportunities, so...
Yeah, he's from Adelaide, I'm pretty sure. He's from South Australia.
Adelaide boy, so.
I mean, he was a pretty high pick. He's a top 15 pick, so he could still be a really good player for them.
Yeah, well, I feel like the games he played for him, he dominated for them. And especially with guys like Tom Green there coming through, I don't think that you're going to see another opportunity come through for him. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, very nice addition for Adelaide. Good pickup considering the year they had to get a decent midfielder. He's pretty good.
Yeah. I want to move on to a bit of a rager of mine. Hawthorn delisted some players a few days ago, and I wasn't too fucking happy about it. Got a message from a mate of mine in the morning, and he's just like, Jackson Ross has been delisted from Hawthorn. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So, same thing happened more than a few years ago now, but Ed Kerno won the listed medal, which is the VFL's best and fairest. And he was on Box Hill's list and he never got picked up from Hawthorn. And obviously at the time we had Mitchell, Lewis, Hodge, which is really understandable why he probably didn't get that opportunity. But he's now at Carlton and he's been playing well there for a long time. And Jackson Ross, the last 2 years, he has been probably the second highest in goals probably throughout the VFL. And the one thing we struggled all year was goals. And we didn't play him once. I seriously don't understand what Hawthorn's thinking. He's got such potential. He's a Jack Gunston type of height. Never got that opportunity when we're struggling the most. So, look, I think there's still a chance we can pick him up in like that rookie draft or whatever it is. But I feel like he'd be very good at another club because he was kicking good amounts of goals in the VFL for 2-3 years in a row, and I feel like he'd slot into a good side somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, hopefully you can find some more opportunities somewhere else and improve. Even though it'll be frustrating for you, but
absolutely.
Yeah, but anyway, are we moving on to this Jared Waitley thing, Russ?
Oh yes, okay, all right.
Yes,
so
I'm so keen.
I'll give a bit of a background before the video plays. So basically, Jared Waitley, the day before this, absolutely canned the Bulldogs. So he said they're a midfield-only team, and the only reason why they came back into the game was because the Saints got complacent. He was saying that, like, Luke Beveridge is a great coach, but they've only filled about 920 pieces of the puzzle and still have another 80 pieces to fill to get to the 1,000 pieces. Yeah. So then Libba called it. He was really not happy, so he sort of went off and they had a bit of a back and forth, a lot of disagreement. Yeah, it's a really good chat. It goes for about 6 minutes, so. Please stay patient, fans, and enjoy the chat. Thanks, Gilbert, for the coffee for Ben. Keep him going. All right, mate.
Love it.
When you're ready, mate, get it.
I'll load it up, and let's hear this.
Fiends over here.
I'm nervous.
Hold on. Just chat amongst yourselves for a little bit. Maddie, talk us about your beer pong champion while I set this up.
Yeah.
Well, it was an unlikely story, but
it really was.
It was. Out of nowhere, Russ and I, we just decided to play a game together. Into fucking 13 wins in a row.
A real makeshift team, but they did
lose.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
All pairings tried us. no one could conquer. And it ended up being a pretty big New Year's Eve night that carried through to the early months of the year before COVID.
Yeah, actually.
One, but, you know, it's good stuff.
I heard you haven't played the champion in Lewis Tony yet. Is
Lewis is talking mad shit against you.
Bring him on. Bring him on. We will take
nothing compared to the beer pong champion.
Hey, we are the clutchest team ever. We were down so many times and just how we got back into the games. Oh, mate, so clutch.
Ridiculous.
3-1 down, 4-1 down, whatever. We sink them. Russo would sink that last left-handed shot.
Bang.
Disappointment. Lewis Tony, come try us.
Yeah.
All righty, let's get into this. Let me know if you guys can hear this. All right, just put your thumbs up.
Tony, welcome.
G'day, Jared. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
That's sweet. I just want to take you to task on your comments about the Bulldogs. When you mentioned that we've got a great midfielder, but nothing else. So Aaron Norton's nothing else. And then you say things like 4-1, it was a con. So if we win the game of footy, what will your call be? Next thing, I wrote down a few points. Momentum shift rather than change anything tactically. Then you sort of say that Luke Beveridge has 1,000 pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, but he has 920 pieces. Bevo convinces people that he has it all under control. He's such a great day tactician and a great game day coach. So, Jared, I sort of look at that and I say, well, you're either two things. You're either an oxymoron or a paradox, because I don't understand that call. Okay, hang on. And one other thing, I want to ask you a question. Using Crozier in the forward line, why do you think that happened, Jared?
Because there's improvisation to get what he needs. This is my point.
Hang on. You're a student of the game. Why did that happen? Why do you think that happened?
Because he thought it was their avenue to kick goals.
Yeah, exactly. But the reason why that happened, because Cordy went off just before half-time. At the end of the day, mate, we missed shots on goals that we needed to miss. Yes, we might have been one player short. Two blokes go up in the ruck in the second quarter and they get a goal out of it. Really don't understand what you're saying there, mate, because I reckon you should... One thing I'm a great believer in, you present the game very well, but with regards to an opinion, not too sure about that. I think you've got to do a bit more research with regards to that.
So,
how
Tony,
can you say that it was a con
Tony,
just before
do they have the pieces? Do they have the pieces to be dependably successful?
They do, and I'll tell you what, every single side that will be playing in the final and the grand finalists, there will be chinks in someone's armour. There's no doubt about that. Every team will have some deficiencies in their game. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, you're right.
The side that wins the grand final will have a deficiency in their game. So what I'm saying to you, yes, there might be one or two. We might be one or two plays short, but to say that we're so far off from winning a premiership is totally incorrect. Because we're probably one or two. You know, we win the game of footy. How do you react? What do you say?
Well, I don't think they're about to become a sustainably successful top four team. That's my view. I don't think they have the pieces to become a sustainably successful top four team.
I really believe you went really hard on my footy club.
And it is only an opinion.
Totally out of line. Maybe you should... John Ralph wrote a really good article in the Herald Sun, and he basically is contradicting everything what you're saying.
Yeah. And Kane Corns held the opposite view, which we debated. We labelled it as the debate.
So how are we a con? How does that work out? If we win the game, the reason why we you understand more than anyone else. So you're expert in the game, but there are momentum shifts in a game of footy. Yes.
Absolutely.
So to say that St Kilda went in their shell, you just gave no credit to the way we played in the last quarter at all.
So it depends what you want to make your... So if you want to make your assessments... I'll make my assessment. The deficiencies that were identified in the second and third quarters, rather than the comeback of the last quarter. But you're absolutely entitled, and we're talking to this Tony Liberatore, you're absolutely entitled to hold your view that the last quarter is the true Bulldogs. It's just not my opinion. That's all.
Okay, so
I'm not completely wrong about that. But they have missed the finals 2 years and then gone out in elimination finals as favourite in the past 2 years. I just don't think they're about to become a sustainably successful team.
You especially continually talk about individual players. The game's made up of a team, and it's made up of your role in a team. Now, to say, I look at that, and you sort of say something about a jigsaw puzzle that Beveridge has got everyone. What was the word you used?
I think he does a brilliant job. I think he's got 1,000. He's trying to make a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle with 920 pieces, and he does it like few others could to have them in. To have them in finals at the moment. But to finish top four is they don't have, it's only my opinion, they don't have the pieces yet.
Well,
so they're going to need to trade for them or to bring them in.
This is my opinion. We're a couple of players short, and Bruce and Keith are first-year players, really. They've got to work in conjunction. And when you play in a key position area, back or forward, ask Luke Hodge, who just had on TV, on radio. It takes a while for the cohesion of the group to work together. And I just think we're one or two players short. And then you sort of, I look at this, how can you, so is Aaron Norton nothing? Is Tim English nothing? Aaron Norton, give me Aaron Norton any day over Tom Hawkins right here, right now. Because have a look at their finals. You talk about finals. Aaron Norton's game, he just come off from a broken cheekbone, and he's had a really good last quarter. We took 3 big pack marks and nearly won the game for us. Took him a while to get going. Tom Hawkins hasn't had he's kicked 5 behinds and was beaten by a player who was let go of another club from Gold Coast and has done an amazing job going to Port Adelaide. So I just think your comments were flawed yesterday, and I don't listen to your radio station, but a mate of mine rang me and I thought, I believe strongly in this, and I've never rang you up before and mentioned this, and I thought, I think Bevo's doing a great job, and we're a couple of players short, and how hard you went on us yesterday. My understanding from a friend of mine is totally out of line.
Good on you, Tony. I appreciate your thoughts. You may very well be right, and my whole contention was that Bevo is doing an amazing job. That's Tony Liberatore calling in from Footscray.
Wow, a lot in there. Bit in there.
Bit in that.
How about we get everyone's opinion first, then we'll go Chloe last.
He's got something to say.
Sounds good.
All right, Jez, what do you reckon?
I think that's a big call to say you'd take, first of all, Norton over Hawkins. I don't know. That is a big call. Because Norton's good, but other than that, every other point he makes is awesome. I don't think they're. I think the fact that they made finals is good, but look at it. Okay, so the versus GWS in fucking Sydney, that's a hard game. That's hard to win over there. And then you versus fucking Sydney at the Gabba. Sorry, Sydney.
Sydney at the Gabba.
St Kilda at the Gabba. Sorry. So I don't think they're that far off it. I think they've just got, as he said, Bruce didn't fire. Keith was good in patches, wasn't good in other patches. Both key position guys. Miss Lockie Hunt for a little bit of the year as well. They would go in and out of games. I don't think that they're that far off it, but some of the points he was making though, I think they maybe just in another couple of years, and then we'll just see what can happen. Next year they might just win a final of fucking the MCG, and then off the races, and they go from there. I don't think you can base it off of this season as well. You can't base how they're going as well with this season. This season's always going to be a bit sort of asterisk over it. Look, it is what it is. I think in some parts he's right, but it's good.
I think it's so hard to say you'd take Tom Hawkins over Norton. Norton's only however old he is, but Tom Hawkins been in the game for a very, very long time, and it's rare to see him have a bad game. I know it's a final, I understand that, but to say that you'd rather Norton over Hawkins in a final, a bit rough.
Cool.
Norton's still young. If Norton had played 150 games, and he'd kicked 200 or 300 goals or whatever, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But the fact that Norton's still young and Hawkins is the leading goal kicker at Geelong, he's one of the best goal kickers in the game. There's no chance, regardless, you kick 5 behinds. Buddy Franklin was kicking 2 goals 13, like back in the day. And you're telling me you'd take a young forward over a bloke that kicked 100 goals in a year. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, that does. I do think, I love the Bulldogs list, and I think they should be higher than that, what they are, that's for sure. I think they're hovering like 4th, 5th, kind of like where West Coast are. They are majoritarily based midfield team, which everyone knows. But I think a lot of what Tony said was good, for sure. But again, it is Jared's opinion, and Jared is smart, and I think it's just a lot of built-up frustration from a year that the Bulldogs could have had from Tony. So that's my
thought. Sure, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Matty, you got anything to add?
Yeah, they're definitely not a top 4 side at the moment, but they're pushing finals, and they'll probably keep doing that in the next couple of years. And then who knows, in a few years' time, when they are a bit more developed, they could be one of those consistent top 4 sides. And then, but if you're cracking finals, you never know what's going to happen. Like, you could get 1 point wins or something in elimination final, get another a roll, and then you're in the granny or something. Who knows?
Yeah. So, are you trying to hint at something there, are you?
I agree with pretty much all what you guys said as well. Like, it was actually a really good debate. I liked it because, like, both people, like, just really passionate about their opinion, which was good.
Yeah.
Jared's point about, like, the Saints switching off and the Bulldogs just being on was interesting. I kind of sort of agreed with that as well. I think the Saints did get a bit complacent in that final. I think the Bulldogs sniffed that there was a big opportunity, which helped the Bulldogs lift as well. Like, the Bulldogs did definitely improve in that last quarter, but the Saints did drop off as well. And I do agree with the midfield comment. Most of their good players are probably in the midfield. They have a lot of good midfield players, but then their backline's quite weak. So they do need to definitely need to improve their backline, and definitely need a key backman. Forward line, his comments about Bruce, I didn't really agree with. I think, like, Bruce, he's a mature player, so you should just come in and just be good straight away. Like, there's not really an excuse. Like, I understand you have to buy into a system, and they didn't really trade much this year, but he still should have been definitely doing better than what he has been doing, considering he was a pretty solid player at the States.
Yeah, very solid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Bulldogs could win a flag with the list they have. I think they definitely still need a few. I actually agree with the jigsaw puzzle comment. I think they still need to fill a few pieces before they can sort of challenge for the flag again.
Yeah. Let's go hit us,
Chloe. What do you reckon?
Yay! Okay, so
you're patient.
I'm ready. I was so patient. I'm very proud of myself. Yeah, look, like, honestly, I actually thought it was, like, I was really skeptical at first. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to crack the shit listening to this. But it was actually pretty balanced, to be honest. So, look, breaking down the points. So, first of all, the StKilda game, I think I probably agree more with Tony on that point, in that, like, yes, like, the Saints definitely got a bit complacent, but I thought that, you know, his comments did sort of undermine the effort and, you know, I guess, the push that the Dogs made towards the end. Like, you know, you can't say that was all because of StKilda being complacent. I mean, that was a combination of the boys finally getting some fire under their asses and, you know, moving the ball properly like they should, moving Crozier to the forward line after we lost Cordy. You know, like, just like lots of little things that I think really helped change the pace of the game and put it in our favour. So that one I thought was probably, that was a little bit unfair. But at the same time, you know, like, we never should have been in that position in the first place. Like, to be 24 points down, like I said to all you boys, you know, in the group chat, you know, it would have been a shit win if we'd won, because, like, we definitely didn't deserve it. You can't expect to play, half a game of footy in finals and win. Like, second and third quarter, we just disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah, correct.
Then the Hawkins and Norton point, like, probably agree with you boys there. Like, I love Norton, and he is an absolute star. Was very quiet in the game last weekend, unfortunately. I thought that was probably a bit of a big call from Tony to say, oh yeah, I'd pick Norton over Hawkins any day. I was like, give it a couple years and then we'll see.
That's it, experience. That's it, experience. It'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll get there for sure. Absolutely. Like, just needs a bit of time. And for him to have, you know, stepped on the field like only a few days after surgery.
Yeah, that's right.
What a legend. Seriously.
Yeah.
What else is there? Right. The puzzle piece comment I actually thought was very, very fair. Like we talked about last week, we are in desperate need of a second ruckman. Like English for his age is incredible. He's going to be an absolute monster, but he just keeps getting exploited week in, week out, and I'm so sick of it. So he definitely needs some support there. Like we were talking about last week, and maybe getting someone like Cruz in or whatever. And then probably the final comment, which was that, the Bulldogs are, like, we have nothing going for us aside from our midfield. Like, yes, obviously we are very much a midfield-based team, but I thought that was pretty unfair. I mean, like, we've got Caleb Daniel, who coming off back, best kick in the AFL. You can't tell me that doesn't mean anything or that that's insignificant. We've got flyers like Norton and Crozier, who are great in the air. And then, what was it? Where was I going with this? I had a point. Oh, yeah. And then even before he retired, we had Dixon, who was, by all accounts, the best set shot that the AFL has ever seen.
Yeah.
So, so I understand with the puzzle piece comment, but I think to say that, we are just a midfield team, or like we only have midfielders, I thought that was pretty unfair. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it from me.
Yeah, fair enough. No, it was a really good discussion. I liked it, so I thought it'd be good to discuss it.
Yeah. I read the responses as well, and I think also with Libba, it was more rose tinted glasses. Like, he just saw, obviously he's fucking a Bulldog legend, and he's like, well,
yeah,
this is where we're sort of at, and he's gonna obviously go in and defend them, contrary to what a lot of people think. But I think they're closer than what people think. I think they can push for a sort of next year, win a first final, and then we'll see how they go from there. Like,
I've always said to Dad that the Bulldogs are like what Hawthorn did in 08. I thought, like, they finished 7th. They were very unexpected to win the flag in 2016. And all you got to do, like, I know we didn't make finals the year after, but we consistently kept making like elimination finals and qualifying prelims. And as soon as you do that, you get more finals experience. And then saying we won a three-peat. But little plug there. But like, as soon as if you keep winning finals, no matter what team you got, it's experience on your side going into the next year of finals. So we had Hawthorn had heartbreaking losses. We lost 2011 prelim to Collingwood. We lost the grand final in 2012. Like, it's stage by stage, year by year. You start growing a list and putting a list together. Like, from 08 to 2013, there was only a few players left in like the bundle of players we had in 08. So you start adding experience, and then you'd finally get there. And I think the Bulldogs are close, but I reckon in probably about 2 years. I reckon.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And then even if you look at, like, us last weekend, for out of all the teams in finals, we were by far had the youngest list and were the least experienced team sitting there.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like that kind of gets not swept under the rug a little bit, but I feel like people don't recognize that probably as much as they should, just because I think, like, when you look at it objectively, we do have such a great list on paper. Like, we've got incredible players who, for lots of them play, well beyond these. I mean, look at the year Bailey Smith had, like, in his second year, and he's just absolutely killing it. Just give us time. I've got faith that we'll get there again.
Yeah, absolutely. Nah, that's good. But very valid argument, and very well. I feel like we should do more of them. Find something, share screen.
That was good.
Definitely.
But moving into the first week finals this week. So very excited.
Second week.
Sorry.
First week of semi-finals.
If only Port Adelaide were playing this week, would have been good. So would have been able to reference them again. But second week of finals, Friday night, we got Richmond StKilda. I've just got some news. BT's calling again. Hold on. BT.
Across your desk. Hang on.
BT's calling again. Hold on. BT, what's the news about Paddy Ryder? What did he do in the last 5 minutes? Oh, he done the string. Oh, he's done the string. It can't be. Oh, thanks, BT.
Jeez.
Thanks, BT. I'll let the guys know. Thanks for your insight. Hopefully, I hear from you next week. Cheers, mate.
Stay safe in quarantine, BT.
Big one, StKilda Richmond. Obviously, Paddy Ryder out with a hamstring. Did it within like the last 2 minutes. Thanks BT for letting me know. But the other big controversy during the week was Long and the report and getting a week. I was very disappointed to see you still got a week. I remember there was an incident a few years ago now. I think it was with Danger and Viney, and there was a sling tackle, and the whole world was against what I think Viney's tackle on Dangerfield, and he ended up getting off, and I don't understand why they couldn't do the same thing.
Sorry to butt in. What about the Kocher one in the prelim as well, when he hit I can't remember who he hit. Dylan Shield. Dylan Shield in the head.
Yeah.
It was quite similar, really. So
it's
we went to that
very frustrating. But what are our thoughts leading into this game? Friday night, blockbuster, no 440, but what are our thoughts leading into this one? So
you go, Clive.
No, you're right, Jez, go for it.
So I reckon it's going to be hard for the Saints to sort of get up here. I reckon Ryder's going to be a big loss in terms of their ruck stocks. Yeah. Even though the Tigers don't have a recognised Nankervis, I guess, but he hasn't been there all year in terms of playing. So it's going to be Marshall against Nankervis. I think the Tigers sort of, much as I hate to say it, I reckon they sort of, mop up from last week and they absolutely going to give it to the Saints. I think if the Saints win, it's going to be a great victory, but I reckon forward line too strong, back line, I reckon they just get it done and just memory doesn't get off the leash and some of these other guys like they did last week. King, I reckon, gets held. And I think in the midfield, Dusty, Cochin, all those guys just come in and just absolutely give it to the Saints. So I reckon the Tigers come in. They have a clinical performance. They just dominate across the board. As much as I hate Tom Lynch, I reckon he'll kick at least 3 or 4, which I hate to say, but I reckon he's coming back into good form. And I just reckon the Tigers win by about 4 goals and just go to fucking Adelaide and just see what they can do.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Tom Lynch coming in is definitely a big factor. That's going to help. That's about for me. That's about a 2-3 goal difference because Barbie O'Chara he's just a fucking spud. Like honestly, surely he's out this week. Damien Hardwick was saying, "Oh, we might flirt with the option of playing 3 talls," but that's bullshit. There's no way they're going to play Chol. I couldn't see them dropping anyone else. Like I think they'll just make the one change. They'll just bring in Lynch for Chol. Their lineup's pretty settled at the moment, so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. What do you guys reckon? Do you reckon Josh Caddy could come back in, or do you reckon he's done for finals?
Potential. Just it depends. I think it depends on weather, because obviously if it's a wet weather game, and obviously we'll know tomorrow whether it's going to be a wet weather game. I reckon there might be a late change, and they probably go more small. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think StKilda's out, so we'll hurt him. Obviously, Carlisle's out, but I think Josh Battle is coming back in for Saints. I think he'll replace Carlisle. Ryder going out's obviously sad for Ryder. He played so well at the weekend. But in saying that, though, Ryder didn't actually play last time these two teams played each other. So, and Marshall absolutely dominated. So, who knows? Maybe Marshall could take the number 1 ruck mantle and hopefully dominate to keep the game interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I can see this game being close. I'm really not sure. Like, I mean, if States can play at their best, Butler obviously needs to fire. He was on fire last time these two teams played. So hopefully he'll be out there having a point to prove. I think StKilda's talls will struggle a lot more this week than what they did last week. So I think that's Richmond's defence has got to go a long way to help them win the game. I think that's a big factor. They've got their key back winning. I'm pretty sure they had a couple of outs in the back line last time these two teams played. So I'll be barracking for Saints, but I think Richmond for me by about. I think Saints will be competitive still. Everyone's sort of saying it's going to be a blowout. I think Saints should be still competitive. I think they'll probably lose by about 3-4 goals, as Jess said.
Nice, Matty.
100% agree. Richmond are going to have way too much firepower for them, especially coming off a loss. They're going to be fired up, ready to go, and try and take another premiership out again. But I see about 4 or 5 goals. Cruising.
Do we still think Richmond could win the premiership after losing last week? What do we?
Yes.
Definitely.
Still dangerous.
I think it'll be a very good hit out the week after in Adelaide. But absolutely, I think they can still win it. I feel like they've still got the team to do it. So
I feel like they've still got the team, but I think Brisbane have got that belief now. So I reckon they could definitely. They're probably the only ones who could, because they're going to probably match up in a grand final. If Geelong lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Brisbane is still a team to beat at this stage. Like I think from what they did a week ago, I think they've got the people to do it. But
yeah,
Richmond are always going to fuck it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Richmond will always be fighting. They'll never give up. I mean, they only really lost because of ill discipline and probably Lynch being out last week. So Brisbane had to play it there. Like Brisbane played at their absolute optimum. Brisbane probably can't play any better than that. Whereas Richmond still always seem to have. Richmond always still seems to always have that other gear. So
that's a good.
And I mean, Harris, if they did somehow meet in the grand final, Harris Andrews won't be as influential because he'll have to be held accountable. So it changes.
They're gonna. Yeah, that's cool.
Chloe, what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it's a tough one because, you know what, after I even said last week after, you know, the Dogs lost to the Saints, I would love to see the Saints go all the way, but losing Ryder, losing Carlisle, who had a relatively quiet, but he was still pretty influential, and Long, I think it's going to be a huge uphill battle for them. You know, just basically rehashing what you guys have said, Lynch coming in, as much as we hate the guy, he's going to be huge. Yeah, and I think that, you know, a lot of the players that were quiet last week are just going to have so much fire up under their asses. So, like, you know, Reroll's going to come out with a point to prove. Martin's going to come out with a point to prove. Yeah, so I think that they're going to be really tough to beat. Like, don't get me wrong, I still think I'm probably more with Russell. I think the Saints are still going to be competitive. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, hopefully. Yeah, so I do think Richmond's going to come away with the W, but I would love to see them get booted out in straight sets.
Yeah, that'd be very funny.
So much life.
Yeah, we would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Yeah, I think same with all you guys. I think I actually think obviously Tom Lynch will be influential, but I think Rewalt will actually pop up and kick 3 or 4. I feel like Tom Lynch coming in takes away Dan Houston. Dan Houston's their best defender. And
Dougal Howard, you mean?
Dougal Howard. I get mixed up.
I knew who you were talking about, but yeah.
Dougal Howard, he's their best defender by a long shot. With Carlisle not there, Rewalt then gets the second best defender, whoever that is. I feel like he'd be able
maybe like a Wilkie or something like that, or one of those other guys.
He'd be able to brush him off easy. So.
Oh man, Wilkes.
Yeah, I think he'll pop up. I think Richmond win this, probably that 3-4 goal margin again. But again, we'll be all barracking for St Kilda because we all want Richmond out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Richmond are too good. What are our thoughts on X factors? Give us your X factors.
Butler. Danger. Butler.
Change your name tomorrow to Dan Butler.
Yeah, I'm going.
I want to go for King. I want to go for King for the Saints. If he can back up that if he can back it up, they are in this game. I think he's got to struggle.
Yeah.
But I think if he can lift, then they can win. X factor for Richmond, fucking discipline. Don't give away stupid 50s.
That's good. Change your name, Richmond Tigers. No. Maddie, who's your X factor?
I would go with the Kingy as well, but Richmond's they got too many X factors. How can you pick just one?
Yeah, true.
Fair call, Chloe.
We hate to admit it. Well, look, like just to mix it up so we're not just repeating the same fucking players. St Kilda, I'll go Marshall because obviously he's got a big night ahead of him.
Yeah. Very good.
He needs to be on fire. Yeah. And Richmond, yeah, I know. Like it's like, how do you pick one? You know what? I'm gonna chuck my chips behind Dusty. I think he's gonna have a big one after visiting the library last week.
Visiting the library. I reckon he's still there. He hasn't gone back to training. So I'm gonna go for big Tom Lynch just so I can be an arsehole in the chat. So
I think also for Richmond, an X factor would be like Noah Bolter. I think if he plays well in the back line, I reckon they might actually.
There wasn't out from Richmond as well. I saw just this morning. Jakey Arts. Do you know Jakey Arts?
Yeah, he's been good this year.
He's getting dropped this week.
Dropped.
Who's coming in for him then?
Don't know. Probably Caddy or something. I feel like.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
but
I think that's a good call. More
I know.
experience.
Yeah,
Like,
more experience, absolutely.
Arts has been okay during the year, but too inexperienced probably to be played in a big final.
Yeah.
So I feel like Arts gets dropped, Caddy comes in, Chol gets dropped, and Lynch comes in. I feel like they're two good
For
ones.
sure. Who do we reckon comes in for the Saints? So obviously Battle, probably your mate Ben, Shane Savage, mate.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking Savage would probably come in for sure.
Yeah, there was also a bit of rumor going around. Dylan Robertson hasn't played for 2 years. He's fit and ready to go. So there was a bit of a whisper.
I would not go.
He's going to play.
I would not go.
Not saying he's going to play, but there was a bit of a whisper that he's still been trained and he's apparently could be ready to go. So I don't think you risk him after not playing for 2 years.
Oh my god, risk him in a final.
Yeah, I don't think that would be the wisest choice.
Yeah, and the thing of getting Paddy McCartan, they're like, oh, this was about Paddy McCartan coming in as well. Like, that's... Oh, that's a hard... I would not do it there. I would not get them in now. Savage, I reckon, come.
All right, so we got... Nice. All right, well, moving on to the Saturday night game, we're going to kick it off. We're going to go straight to Matty Riles. Matty Riles, what are your thoughts on this game? Give us your tips, mate.
I saw the odds were like $1.60 to $2.30 or something. I reckon that's a bit rough on us, to be honest.
It is.
I would give us like a 55-45 Geelong's way at least, or a 50-50. But I don't know. I don't mind our chances to get up a sneaky win against Geelong, get them out in straight sets again. I think 2 years in a row, given their finals record as of recent years. But yeah. I think if we definitely got to have Darcy Cameron in again.
Yeah.
He was awesome just for the fact that Grundy could keep coming off and resting because he's not been right.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. He hasn't been the same as the last couple of years. So having him in that ruck instead of Cox in the ruck so that then Cox can be up forward all the time, taking all them big grabs, kicking all them goals. Yeah, I think if we get Cameron in again, which they should do, I don't know. I don't mind our chances, sneakily.
Matty, what was your thoughts when Cameron rucked the last set of bounce contest of the game?
That was a huge call, but fuck, I was pretty nervous for that. I was like, for sure, they're going to get out, kick a quick goal. Done in grand final was Titanic coming again. But luckily. No, Cameron stood up well in that game. So
he played well.
Hopefully he'll do the same again.
Yeah, nice.
How much are you tipping Collingwood by, Matty?
Not much. I'd say we get up by 2 goals. I don't want to try 1 goal again.
Too stressful.
Yeah, too stressful. But hopefully two goals we'll be up by.
Nice.
That's
nice. Jerry, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I reckon the Pies. I'm tipping the Pies again. I mean, this is the time for Geelong to just go out. See you later.
Yeah.
Go back to fucking wherever the fuck you're from.
Fucking
go home.
Down the highway. Fuck off down there.
Go down an hour drive and just fuck off. The Pies. I reckon the Pies. I reckon they're going to be on a high from last week, and I think. Yeah. Some people have interpreted.
Can they ride the momentum? Like that's.
I don't think it's cockiness. I think it's just like they're allowed to be happy about a win, and I think a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people told them that they couldn't. Like a lot of people told them they couldn't, especially like people in the media. Like obviously Cornsey being the big one, and he didn't say like he was like but they're cocky about this. It's like all right, well if they lose, it's like they might have been, but I'm tipping them. I'm backing them in. I think. They just galvanise as a team. I don't think it's any one player. I think all 22 guys actually fucking push hard. They stop danger. I think their backline just gonna come together to stop Hawkins and just plays a blinder on Hawkins and they just win by a couple of goals. And I think if they go to the Gabba, if they win, I think it's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna be tipping them then. I think they should. Yeah, it's gonna be a bridge too far, but. Yeah, I mean, Collingwood by a couple of goals. They galvanise as a team performance. They just push hard. X factor for me.
Jeez, mate, jumping in early, mate.
Yeah, I'm coming in early.
Later. Chloe.
5 by 2 goals.
Okay. Yeah, I think this one's probably the bigger match out of the two, honestly, because it really could go either way. to me personally, I'm really hoping the Pies run over the Cats. I think the way that they played last week was absolutely phenomenal. I can't English. Yeah, I think the Collingwood defense is going to have a really big job against the likes of, you know, Hawkins is going to be up and about. Danger's probably going to be up and about. Selwood is going to be very, very motivated, I think, after coming in with that finger injury. Yeah, he is playing. I have to admit, though, I love that quote from him. You know, he's playing finals unless his leg gets chopped off. That's the spirit. We love a bit of that. I think Collingwood. I was, you know, very skeptical of Collingwood last week. Ate my words very much. So yeah, I'm putting my money behind them this week. I think they're just gonna, you know, be really fired up. I think they can definitely outdo the Cats for speed around the ground as well. So yeah, it should be a really good game. I reckon Collingwood by about 10.
Nice.
Yeah, Ben, mate, you gave it to Jerry last week for tipping the Pies.
I did. I was going to bring that up I forgot to bring that up in the last episode. I was after we finished it, I thought to myself, I'm like, fuck, I roasted Jerry for tipping the Pies.
That's mate. There was. If the Eagles smacked them, it would have been like, well, it's like egg on my face. So I think it was just.
I feel like. Yeah, going into that game, there was no chance I was tipping Collingwood to win that game. But I think it'll be a good game. Again, I really want Collingwood to win. If they win, I'm not too sure. For me, I'm gonna tip the Cats by probably it'll be probably under a goal. I genuinely think either team can win. Like, I'll tip the Cats, but I think if any team win, it's going to be under a goal. I feel like both teams match up on each other really, really well. Both got elite midfields. But I think it comes down to if Collingwood's forwards up and about, they win the game. And how Hawkins goes. I don't know the matchup, whether they put Ruffhead on Hawkins or they put Darcy Moore on Hawkins. I'm not too sure.
I reckon Ruffhead.
I'd put Moore, I reckon.
I'd put Ruffhead for the physical contest. I feel like Hawkins would be able to battle away Darcy Moore a little bit too easy. But if Hawkins is up the ground, Darcy Moore kind of goes with him and Ruffhead sits back.
Exactly right.
But it comes down to both forward lines. I think Hawkins will be up and about after his performance last week. I do hope that Geelong get knocked out straight sets for sure. I'll be barracking for Collingwood, but I think Geelong will get over the line.
Do we reckon as well, is Geelong going to make any changes to their lineup this week? There was sort of a lot of talk going on that they're a bit slow, especially the back line. They've got a lot of tools.
Yeah.
What do we reckon? Do you reckon they could do a bombshell, maybe drop someone like a Harry Taylor or a Colin Jasny?
No, they won't drop Harry Taylor. No.
No chance.
No,
I'm probably on the fence. I believe, I don't think they'll do it, but I reckon they should drop Harry Taylor. He's too old now. He's too slow. Like, I don't know what he does anymore. He doesn't really do anything out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But I think I want him for the experience at the moment.
I think Geelong have enough experience already, and I think they need more run off the back line. Like, they don't have that run. Like, they only have really Buse in the back line that's small. Like, they need someone else in that back line, someone like a Constable who can come in and or I think it was Clark. I don't think Clark's playing either at the moment.
Clark's not playing either.
They need someone like that who can just give him some run off the half back, really, because they're just too stagnant. Like, even against the power, they were a bit slow.
Yeah. So. Look, if I see Scott start Dalhouse, Atkins, and whoever else it was in the middle, then Duncan, you can't let that. You can't let that.
Surely that's the biggest thing they're going to
with the midfield filled with Taylor, Adams, Pendlebury, Treloar, if you do that, and with a ruckman like Grundy, that's danger right there. Danger. Grundy.
Exactly right. So, who do you think? Who's Levi Greenwood got a tag this week?
I think he might go to. I think he might go to danger. I think he just might. He might nip it in the butt. I don't think he goes to either danger or Selwood. I think he could go to like someone like a Guthrie or a Menengola, to be honest.
Go to an influential player that's got good kicking ability. I reckon go to someone like Guthrie, Duncan, or Menengola.
Yeah, I reckon he needs to go to one of those three.
So maybe a Duncan, I mean,
probably Duncan after last week,
Because
let's be honest, Dangerfield's just either way. Dangerfield's unstoppable. Like, if he's in form, even if you tag it, you're probably not going to stop him.
Yeah, if he's up and about, Greenwood will go to him 100%. But I think you got to stop people that have got very good kicking ability, like Duncan, Menegola, and Guthrie. They really like to break the lines with their kicking ability.
Yeah,
so.
exactly right. I agree. I'm a bit worried about the Pies still. Like their forward line still worries me a bit. Like they had to rely on Mason Cox is probably not going to have the game he had last week. Like as much as I love him and I was
that's what I do like.
Like that's a weighted millions. Like that's a weighted every 2 years game for Mason Cox. Like he's not doing that again, and that's why.
Every 2 years.
I reckon
seriously, like it is though. Like he hasn't done anything all year. He had his one good game. He blames it on his contact lenses and he couldn't see. But
did he?
He was saying he couldn't see for the first half of the year. He's fixed his contact lenses and now it's helping him see a bit better and mark the ball a bit better. But I think that's the worry. I don't think Collingwood would kick enough goals, so I'm going to go with the Cats. I think it'll be a really close game. I think if Collingwood can ride that momentum, they can still win this game. But I think last week possibly might have been their sort of grand final. And good on it for carrying on. They had a right to carry on, but I reckon Geelong by about 10 points.
Yeah, nice.
I reckon you might eat your words about Cox. I reckon he'll be up and about. Games for 1 year, I reckon.
Don't worry, mate. The USA is still my X factor, mate. I still love him. Don't worry. I always love him.
Yeah, but he plays well in finals. I don't know if he's playing well in 2 finals in a row, but he plays well in finals. So,
yeah,
who knows? He could come out and kick fucking in the first quarter again. Like, it's highly doubtful. Highly doubtful.
To be honest, he's taller than anyone. Like, there's no reason if the ball is on top of his head, with blokes with Harry Taylor that can't jump no more.
Like, exactly.
He should be taking marks. And look, what are our thoughts on X factors? We'll go to Chloe.
Yeah, cool. So X factors probably a little bit different for me this week. So I'm going to say Darcy Moore for Collingwood. They're really going to have to shut down some of the key forwards for Geelong, whether he's on Hawkins or whoever else is down there.
Yeah.
And then especially I think also getting him helping moving off the back line, he's going to be huge. So I'm tipping he's going to have a pretty big game. And then for Geelong, I'm going to say Gary Rowan. Because I think last week, he wasn't.
Cool.
Yeah, he wasn't like the biggest disposals, but
He's the choker of finals. He always chokes in finals. So
yes, but which is why he needs to have a big game because you know what, when he gets the ball, he uses it quite efficiently. He's very good with body on body and going hard at the ball, which against a team like Collingwood, you're really going to need. So so I reckon him.
Yeah,
perfect.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to obviously say Mason Cox for the Pies. Can't go past the big USA after his performance last week. But in all seriousness, I actually feel like if he plays well, they will actually win the game.
Just a target.
I also believe that last week, I actually thought Collingwood could have kicked him the ball a bit more last week after quarter time. I reckon they didn't. I reckon they didn't give him enough opportunity. I actually heavily watched him after quarter time, and he actually leads. He was actually leading it. He was actually open quite a bit, but they don't give him the ball. So I reckon they've got to look for Mason Cox early, get him right in that momentum, and hopefully that'll help the Pies go a long way to win the game. Geelong, I think Joel Selwood, because he's obviously hurt his finger last week, and that's normally a 3-week injury. So as much as he's been a warrior and he's got to play, he needs to actually come out and do well. He can't just be there just because he's the captain. He needs to come out. He needs to come out and perform really well, I think, because he could almost be he could almost be a liability if his finger's really sore. So that's a worry for me for the Cats, I reckon. I reckon that's a massive risk than picking Selwood this week.
Yeah. Jerry?
I'm going to go a bit off-centre here. So for Collingwood, I reckon Brody Mychek. I reckon if Mychek plays well and he because we all know to go in all those guys, like if Goey kicks a couple, Mason Cox kicks a couple, and it's all right. But Mychek can kick a couple and have some really good sort of touches and really just forward pressure in there. They're going to go a long way to winning. And just he's one of the most underrated players in that team, probably in the league. I'd pick him in my top 10 players in a team to start off with anyway. So
just quickly speaking of Mychek, there was word going around he's not going to fit in the salary cap. What do we
talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Mychek? No, we didn't.
No,
we discussed that in the chat, not on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I reckon, you just don't play.
Be thinking very differently if he pops up and has a good final series.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got to stay. All this BS that people make up, he might leave. There is no way Collingwood's going to let a player like him go. He's so important to their structure.
How important is he, Maddie?
Fucking insane to let him go.
He's been our leading goal kicker, so 100% agree. He's been our steadiness when there sometimes hasn't been much else going on with him in the forward line. He's always getting a couple of goals each game, so they definitely do everything they can to not let him go. And I don't know, if the other players have to take a little bit of a hit in their salary cap, I reckon they might even, like, they seem to love each other enough. They've got enough camaraderie in the team that I think get done what they need to keep him.
Yeah, there's a very good culture going on at Collingwood over there. So
As long as they can ride out one more win, they've just got enough culture to, and then it's mistaken for cockiness. Some of them will say it cockiness, but they've just got that sense and love for each other that comes across that way. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then for Geelong, I reckon Mark with saves if he plays well in the back line. Sport of different one, but he's another underrated player for Geelong. He just does, bless you, he does a lot of stuff. So I think and also Harry Taylor's a fucking spudge. So if he can sort of like stop Harry Taylor stop being a spudge, then he might do well. So with saves for me, X factor.
Yeah, for me, going for Degoe for Collingwood. Feel like he was a little bit down. I know he popped up and he goal in the last quarter last week, but I feel like he needs to go up and about. I feel like Collingwood need to play him through the midfield a lot more. He's really good. I can see it.
You would do that, Jesse. You saw me laughing. So
I feel like Collingwood need to play him through the midfield a lot more. I feel like when he went in there, he was just able to add another big body down there and add that kind of dusty type for clearances. So that'll be huge for Collingwood. And my Geelong one, a little bit interesting. He was a little bit quiet last week as well. Tommy Stewart. He's usually the go-to guy for Geelong. He's like the Caleb Daniel of the Bulldogs. He's such a great kick. He loves to hit targets. He's the one that breaks the game open from the half back line. So because of how pressed up Port Adelaide played against Geelong, he really struggled to pinpoint targets. But I really feel like he'll have a big influence on the game, and they'll make sure he gets involved. So they're my two X factors, that's for sure. So
yeah. Well, no one else has said danger for their X factor, have they? So.
No.
Someone's going to say the Dangerfield. I think it will be up and about as usual. For Collingwood's X factor, I would have said Moore as well. Would have said Degoe as well. I'd love to say Maynard, but I think for the last couple of months, that Bulldog he's made a couple of costly errors in a lot of games, actually. Like, he's been playing well most of the game, but he makes a couple of costly errors. So I can't say him. I don't know. I think we've got the X factors covered pretty much for Collingwood. I'll go with Taylor Adams again. All Australian. He'll step up again.
Good one. No, that's a brilliant one. I feel like he's been Collingwood's best player all year.
Oh yeah, for sure. Most consistent.
He'll poll the most votes for Collingwood this year in the Brownlow. So that's a great X factor because he's been absolutely unreal with pushing forward and the midfield clearances. And again, he's another guy that's got such an elite kick on him. He loves those little 20-meter bullet kicks. He really goes off that. So that's a great X factor. Well, nice. Well,
love the chat.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think that brings us to the end. Do we have anything else?
I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Unless you guys can think of something, but
no, it's all good. Well, Jerry, I told you to do some research. I hope you have.
But I've not done any research.
You're a donut, mate. You're more of a donut than Jack Darling.
In the 2018 grand final.
I want you to close this up with some energy, mate.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come in off the long run. Maddie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here. One of the great men. And you've done really well.
Value that Al Robs. He actually gave us something.
Mate, I rate Matty very highly. I think he's very underrated in the footy circles around the trap. So yeah, great to have you, Matty. You've been good. Like to have you on again when we'll have Matty G on maybe next week, and then we'll have you back on definitely. The Al Robs can stay at home. It's been a pleasure to have you on. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. And we will catch you next week when we discuss the prelim finals. And we are almost done, but we are not done forever. So enjoy.
Jezza,
Awesome.
aka Gary Ablett, good luck this week, mate.
Make sure the forehead's shining next week, mate.
As long as you can see the reflection in here, that's all that we want. So if you can see your own reflection here, that means I've done a good job.
Alrighty, guys.
Love that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks to our viewers. We'll catch you soon. Peace.
We got to shop it around.